Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is another What I Watched This Month video. The first part will be the films that I rewatched this month, and the second part will be the films that I watched for the first time this month. So without wasting any time, these are the films that I watched in September. These are the films that I rewatched this month. This was my second time watching Mid-90s, and I gotta say that I still think it's great. I got more of a documentary vibe from it on my second viewing than on my first. The best way that I can describe this film is that it's like a fever dream / documentary type of a viewing experience about growing up and skater culture in the 90s. I think that this is going to be the first of many films that will be set in the 90s exploring the era and culture of the 90s, similar to the boom of the 80s culture that recently happened. The Gentleman was one of the early releases of 2020 back in January. I got to see it back then, and I liked it. I thought it was funny and pretty alright. Well, now on my first rewatch of the film, I think this movie is outright hilarious and great. The cast is top tier. The only other Guy Ritchie films I've seen are the two Sherlock films, The Man from U.N.C.L.E. and the live-action Aladdin. I enjoyed all of them, but this movie is the best from what I've seen. This was the third time I've seen Akira, and I was lucky enough to catch it on the big screen. Akira has so much to say about humanity in a runtime of only 2 hours, so it's a very confusing and difficult movie for people to sit through and watch. I still don't understand some aspects of this film, but I enjoy it nevertheless. Project X is such a legendary film. This film is pure madness and is made a lot better for the fact that it is shot like a homemade / found footage style. This is just something you have to experience for yourself with a group of friends and just have a great time. Pacific Rim is such an underrated film. I feel like a lot of people don't give it the time of day because it's a movie about giant robots fighting giant monsters. Well, if anyone can make this concept interesting for 2 hours and 10 minutes, it's going to be Guillermo del Toro. This movie looks and sounds stunning. And like most of his films, Guillermo loves his monsters, and there are some great monster designs in this. Pacific Rim is genuinely a great film with lots of passion that everyone should check out. I feel like Real Steel flew under the radar for a lot of people, and that's a real shame. This movie is slow to pick up steam in the first half, but once it picks up, it doesn't pull its punches. The concept of robot boxing is just so cool, and it is smartly paired with both an underdog and comeback story. This is a movie that I actually wouldn't mind a sequel to, but the odds of that happening are little to none. And now for the films that I watched for the first time this month. I'm Thinking of Ending Things is one of the most confusing films I've ever seen. For the longest time throughout the film, I thought it was a horror or a psychological thriller, but it ended up being neither. It was sort of a nothing movie. Nothing of note happens and no clear themes or subtext is discernible from it. What is good about the film is the cinematography and camera work. But for a film mainly set in a car, there's only so much you can do to keep things interesting. This is the worst thing I could say about the film, that it's uninteresting. I feel like the concept was brilliant but executed poorly. I probably should rewatch it to get more out of it, but I simply don't care about this film. The Garden of Words is a film from acclaimed anime director Makoto Shinkai. First off, I gotta say that the animation in this film is stellar. The story, on the other hand, is very bare bones, which is reflected by a runtime of only 46 minutes. So this ends up feeling a lot more like a short film than a feature. Since this movie came out before Your Name and Weathering with You, it is interesting to see how Shinkai has developed as a director and writer. It is clear Shinkai has a specific type of film he likes to make. He truly has become a master of his craft. The Devil All the Time is an amazing film with an equally stunning cast. The film handles the topics and themes of religion and obsession amazingly well. It's also a very well-structured film taking place throughout different times and places, and because of this, there is narration to link everything that is happening together. I think that the narration works for the film and adds to the tone of it. Overall, it's a solid film that I highly recommend others to see. Top Gun is a really fun movie. For a movie about fighter pilots, it does all that it needs to for it to entertain us. Tom Cruise is just so charismatic in this that it's sort of impossible to not like this movie. Just lots of fun all around. Enola Holmes is a surprisingly great film. I didn't think that this type of family, fun for all ages film would go so into depth about feminism and societal expectations. Mainly the latter. Millie Bobby Brown is good, and Henry Cavill as Sherlock Holmes is a surprising fit. Netflix has really been hitting it out of the park with all their movies lately. I don't know why it took me so long to finally watch Superbad. There is just so much great dark and raunchy humor throughout it that I couldn't stop laughing. After watching this, all I want to see is an entire movie of McLovin and the Cops. Well, that's it for this month, guys. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe for more videos like this, and see you guys next time.